All right, 6:30, Friday, August 20th. Welcome in for another safety focus of the week. This week's code of conduct is to work in environmental conscientious manner. It's a good reminder about spill kits, making sure that we got all the proper precautions to control a spill if one occurs on our project. So just double check, make sure you get enough speedy dry and spill kits on site for the amount of equipment that you have on site. And also a good reminder just to check your silt fence and all the other erosion best practices that are out there, such as your entrance for trucking before the roadway, so we're not slinging mud everywhere on the roadways as well. So a check-in this last week, excellent job. We went another 7 days without a recordable injury. So we're up to 88 days without one. So excellent job. Keep it up on the best practices with starting your day off with a good JHA, checking in and making sure that we have known hazards controlled and how we're going to mitigate those through our hierarchy of controls. And just remember, just that PPE is that last line of defense. So just let's not forget it. This week, I just wanted to kind of continue from last week on synthetic inspection. It was just kind of quickly having going through some of our chain inspections. It's you normally do this kind of more in the winter time, but I thought it would be, since the amount of work we're doing this year, especially with how much material handling we've been doing in the last couple of weeks, I think it's very important that we just stay on the best practice, making sure we're doing these inspections prior to any pick, or even this even goes down to our transportation of tying down our equipment, tying down our construction materials when we're hauling on the roadway as well. So continue with these chain inspections, and what we're looking for is issues with the chain links themselves. We're looking if it's stretched. There's a good example of a stretched link. Links tend to close up, elongated, or as they say here, is like a peanut. That's usually what we see with our chains. They're mostly stretched. So this is what you're kind of looking for. Extreme wear on bearing surfaces. So if you take the chain, turn it kind of sideways, take the tension off it, and if you start seeing some really wear, we're looking for 10% wear on the change. And then a bent or a crush, that usually happens over a cutting edge, especially if we're doing picks with a loader and it's pinched in. You'll see a bent link or a crushed link. Twisted as well, you can see it's a good example there. It is it's a little off tilt, and looking for abrasion and wear, cracks and gouges. So really, when in doubt, take it out of service. Also, make sure if it's a lifting chain for overhead lifting for construction material, please make sure it has a tag. If it's not tagged, then we should make sure we put a action item together to making sure that we get this retagged by contacting health and safety and also Elliot in the tool crib, and we'll go through it and get it retagged for you. A tie down chain doesn't need to have a tag on it, only a overhead lifting type of chain. Here's an example of just we have these tools readily available. It's just a great way to check for that 10% wear when you're checking through your links. We have these available in the tool crib, also up in health and safety. When we do rigging and signaling training, we hang these out as well in the winter months. So very handy tool to have kind of in your pickup truck. But again, when in doubt, call health and safety and we'll come out and take a look at your change at any time. And then last is just that hook inspection and also shackles. So what we're looking for here, again, is making sure that it does have a safety latch. The nice part about the safety latch is it's constantly, it's constantly kind of reminding you that you don't have a throat opening greater than 15 degrees. That's kind of one of the main purposes of a safety latch, is to making sure you don't have any issues with your hook itself, the front end of the hook. So again, checking for wear and cracks, twists, and a lot of wear. And again, it's 10% wear on that. Looking for the tips, make sure it's not twisted. So it's another reason why a safety latch is important, is because it can identify if the hook is twisted at all. And regarding on the shackles, very similar, 10% wear, any cracks, extreme wear. If the bolt of the shackle does not fit well, you could have some twisting or issues with the shackle. So again, when in doubt, let's take out these shackles and hooks as you're doing your daily inspection on your rigging equipment on site. With that said, if there's any follow-up questions, please contact me after the safety meeting, and we can either go through your trailer, or we'll try to do these inspections kind of next week as I'm making site visits throughout our job sites. With that said, I'll pass it over to Ken for the rest of our presentation this morning.
Sounds good, Matt. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, can you see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So a couple announcements, new announcements would be, one new announcement is to look for your fare tickets in your paycheck or your paycheck stub that's mailed out. Would have been mailed out probably yesterday, I guess, and today or Saturday. So watch for that. Those tickets, they're white. They might not be quite so visible when you look in the envelope. But they're in there. If you ordered them, you had to order them, of course. And then also there's probably 3 new employees, I believe, or so, that have come aboard since we announced the fare tickets, and those people, because they didn't have an opportunity to sign up, can still check with Sarah, because I know there's a few tickets left. So if you're looking for fare tickets and you are the new employee, one of the new employees, then check with Sarah and you could get a couple tickets. Also an older message here is this declaration of healthcare, the HC-2 forms. I don't know how we're doing on them yet, but we need to get everybody signed up on these, and I have a link here. So that was sent out last week, I believe, in the paychecks, and that form must be submitted. It's probably a state or federal requirement. I think it might be federal. So for new employees, we have Scott Dean, and Scott will be working in the front office. So look for Scott up there and say hello. And I kept the ECI Primary Care Wellness Program link on here. We've gone through all the sections over the last several weeks, so it's an important thing that can provide a lot of good health benefits to everybody. So check it out. For weather outlook, gonna warm up today. Finally, no rain today, I guess. It's gonna start to clear off. And the COVID practices policies, I forgot to update the vaccinated, percent vaccinated, but I understand there's a pretty good uptick, partly because the concern for the Delta variant. And we just want to be cautious out there because of that. Make sure you inform health and safety if you have any near close contacts, or if you have a positive case in the family or yourself. So please let us know so we can help you, guide you through how to manage that as far as returning to work. For the project this week, we're going to talk about the Seed Sprout Bloom Daycare foundation repairs in Berlin, and we're contracted with Lake Point Property Management for repairs to a foundation at the Seed Sprout Bloom Daycare. And the rubble stone foundation of this former farmhouse had cracked and settled, and ECI was hired to shore up the house, demolish the front deck, demolish the rubble stone foundation, replace the rotted sill plate, replace the foundation with an 8-inch thick concrete wall. And the house consisted of a heavy timber frame, was built around 1900. The walls were repaired previously with exterior concrete facing. The basement also contained several large tanks for fire protection. ECI provided a water tanker, which was plumbed up by our subcontractor to the sprinkler system while the tanks were removed from our work area. There's kind of a pre-construction view of the front. Get that deck, and that's the front wall that was replaced. There's a side view. You can see it been parged up with concrete as additional facing over the rubble block wall. An inside view, you can see some severe cracking and deterioration. Some of that's foam. They tried to inject foam in there. I guess it was leaking or letting air through. I don't know which, but they have had problems in the past, and they were getting more severe kind of quickly. And that tank right there is one of the fire protection tanks. There were like 4 of them, I believe. Here are the guys from the sprinkler subcontractor plumbing up our truck. There you had the truck parked right out front, feeding the pumps just in case. And then you see we had the wall removed, excavated out away from the front, and you can see some of the rot in the big timber sill plates. See all our shoring post in there and the tanks that were pushed out of our work area. It's kind of a strange construction. It was timber frame with large timbers. These are like 8x8s, and there were a pair of them side by side, and the floor framing went to the inner one, and then there was just in this also, both of them rested on the original foundation, and then there was a short little span of floor framing that went to the outer sill plates. I don't know really what they were thinking there. When we repaired it, we replaced the rotten piece here with a new Doug fir timber, and then concreted it up. And the concrete's an 8-inch wall, so it just caught the outer one, and then the owner's putting in a studded wall, timber stud wall on the inside to pick up that inner timber. There's a corner view. And that's what we got from that project. Looking in the photo archives, I found an underpinning project we did for the Niket building underpinning. This is right at the corner. I think it's at the corner of the Route 7, I guess, running down the hill from up near Wickham's. If you drop down to the circle from that direction, it's that corner building on the circle. So that was 1988. Some shoring in there to support the building well. And I can't recall what the problem was with the building there, but it was, I believe it was settling or something. So that was back in 1988. Time has really flown by. All right, I'll turn it back over to you, Matt, and be safe out there. Hopefully we got some drier weather today.
Yep. Thanks, Ken. Ben says maybe probably 1998.
Oh, yeah, probably was 1998.
Yeah, Ken, that was actually my job.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't 88.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought I read that right off a photo, but you're right. I should have caught that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why it seemed more recent.
10 years more recent. Yeah. Well, thank you all for joining in, and let's be safe out there. Let's remember that's chain inspections and making sure we're being real thorough, making sure we're not utilizing any defective equipment when we're doing material handling or tying down our equipment. With that said, have a safe day. We're here to help give health and safety a call at any time. And if you watch in a group setting, please just send me a quick message with the people that you watched it with, just so we can capture attendance. Enjoy the day.
Thanks, Matt.
You guys.